the SA Sports Show, time to talk tennis. A little bit of tennis, but this one's got a bit of a twist to it.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of twist. Our next guest, of course, senior tennis coach at Glen Lee, and also head of women's tennis at Pembroke. We talk about Francy Kyriacou. Francy, how are you?
Hi Phil, thanks for having me.
Absolute pleasure. Now you've got, we can talk about tennis, of course, because you're a very high-profile tennis coach here in South Australia, but we want to talk more about this program you've got called Breakback. Can you tell us a little bit about your Breakback event that you've got coming up?
Yeah, the Breakback program is official peer support program for the MS Society, and we deliver a monthly program for people living with MS to promote physical activity and social network opportunities for those people that sometimes feel isolated by living with this cruel condition. The Breakback program was inspired and born about 2.5 years ago when I was personally diagnosed with MS, and I wanted to take something that news that could break me. I decided to break back, evidently using tennis terms, and obviously something we can give back to the community. And I've learnt so much off my members, just as much as they've learnt off of me.
That's a great story, because you could quite easily have gone the other way. Once you were diagnosed with MS, it's very easy to go that way. That could break you. I think that's a great statement. But instead of being broken, you break back. And there's the name of the program.
Yeah.
What sort of support have you received? Obviously, you've received great support, otherwise you wouldn't be doing it. But when you were first diagnosed and you first come up with this idea of Breakback, how did it all come about?
Yeah, you know what, initially I was really cagey to share my story, and considering, I'm the type of person that wears my heart on my sleeve, I thought, well, if I'm going to keep this to myself, I'm not going to be able to help people. And it took me a while to come out with my story, but, my support networks and, I found the key to success, whether it be professionally, whether it be personally, is a solid support network. And don't get me wrong, I've got 3 young girls at home that, I almost felt like initially I robbed my daughter my eldest especially, of her childhood, because early days I just isolated myself from the community, and I just wanted to, I didn't want help. And I went through procedures that went absolutely pear-shaped, and these procedures actually left me bedridden. I couldn't get up off my back. It was a real struggle. And, 2-3 o'clock in the morning, I had my 11-year-old daughter administering me Panadol because I was in that much pain and I couldn't move. And I look back on that now, and don't get me wrong, she's an absolute little gun. She's my best friend, and she's one of my biggest strengths. And my 2 little ones, I feel they've had to grow up a little bit quicker being exposed to everything. But, another support network I've really had has been my mentors. Mark Zafoulis, he's part of the coach development team in Richmond Football Club. He's been an absolute pillar of strength to me professionally and personally. In the last 12 months, Paul Baccanello and Phil Smythe have obviously come into my mini dream team, and with these guys in your corner, you just feel like you can get through anything, you can achieve anything, and are just real pillars of strength. So,
okay. I'm just making a note. I'm going to let Nat know that you're dreaming about me. That's really cool. Francy,
of course you will.
I'm really interested in, because you kind of touched on it. There's a whole lot of emotion that you've gone through and had to deal with. So, the toughest part, I imagine, is telling your kids and then taking them through the process of what that may look like for them. How difficult explaining to your young kids that mum's just been diagnosed with MS, this is what it might look like?
Yeah.
Oh, hang on a minute, it's actually looking like this now, because it's a whole lot different. So can you, just for the viewers?
Yeah, to be honest, I actually had to understand MS myself first before actually explaining it to my kids, because I think there's very much a misconception in society that when you're diagnosed with MS that you're going to end up in a wheelchair. Now, 30 years ago, yes, that was the situation, but these days treatment is so far advanced that your chances of living a normal life with MS are actually quite high. Provided you go on treatment, you don't respond relapse for 2 years, and a couple of different things, a couple of boxes to tick. And thankfully, we've ticked all those boxes. Now, I'm not going to have a conversation with my kids that mum may end up in a wheelchair one day, because you know what, with medicine these days, the chances are it may not happen. But when I got first diagnosed, I did find the MS community can be quite pessimistic. And this is where I wanted to pretty much act as an ambassador to really change that perception. I wanted people to start turning that adversity into opportunity. And I guess that's how the Breakback program was born. And, the kids to this day, I haven't really sat them down and had a conversation where this can potentially go. Because to me, I'm still going to go do my 30 hours on court, provided I can do that each week. I can take them for coffees, we can live life. Why am I going to have a plan B for something that may not even happen?
Good point.
Does that make sense? I prefer to look at the glass half full than half empty and tackle life with an optimistic attitude than, oh my God, one day this may be me, because one day it may not.
It's a really interesting one, isn't it? Because when you first spoke to me about, can I help you with your coaching, the one thing in the room of coaches we were in that made it really interesting for me was your positive attitude to everything. Now, this is knowing all the other stuff as well. And then you go, but you've been able to carry that. It's like, I've got MS, but that's over there. I've got too many other things to do. I've got Pembroke to do. I've got Glenlee. I've got Breakback. You seem to have massive amounts of energy as opposed to not too much energy.
Yeah, I won't lie. My career has really been a huge distraction for me through my health battles. And don't get me wrong, I've had challenges career-wise. I've had challenges personally. I've had challenges health-wise in the last 2 years. But in the end, I feel all those challenges have made me a stronger person and made me more resilient to life and adversity. And in the end, your kids are constantly looking up to you. And no matter, how defeated you feel, you need to front up each day because you've got these young eyes on you.
Bingo.
All right, let's talk about Breakback, because that's part of what we're trying to get some publicity around that. Explain when it is, what it's about, your Breakback event.
Yeah, so every year I personally run a 6-hour cardio tennis marathon, which aligns with World MS Day. So we raise vital funds and bring awareness to this cruel condition. And on the 28th of May, we are doing our 6-hour cardio tennis marathon at Glenlee Tennis Club. This year, thanks to Phil, we have we have a lineup of sports celebrities that are going to be partaking in an Australia first illuminative cardio tennis experience. So are we allowed to announce the lineup, Phil?
Yeah, it's your lineup. I'm just happy to be a part of it.
All right, so we've got on board Andrew McLeod. We've got on board Rachel Spawn, Brett Maher, Jacob Sturgeon. We just let him in being an ex-power player. Sam Jacobs is coming in a little bit later for a photo appearance and autograph opportunity. Who else? Callum Ferguson's on board. And Phil, I'm going to put you on the spot live. You're going to jump in.
I'm on board.
You're going to jump in, and we got Phil Smythe.
Matty Broadbent will be in a little bit later. We'll have a chat with Matty. Maybe he'll jump on. But I'll have a crack at it.
So
you've got a surprise one day, haven't you?
Sorry.
There's potentially a quiet, high-profile one that might.
Yes. We got to keep some secrets. We've got to keep some secrets. We can't reveal all at the moment. But I just wanted to obviously make a shout out to our sponsors as well. VU Wealth. A major partner to our program, Langman and Lay Elite Tennis Academy for donating a Thanasi Kokonakis signed racket, W Sports and Media, who are donating Leighton Hewitt signed Australian Open shoes, and Asset Electrical Plus that are doing all our lighting for our illuminative neon nights.
Good luck.
All right, 28th of May, Glenlee Tennis Club. Get on the website. You can get on, where would they go? Which website will give them the information they need?
You can get online on my socials, Breakback, and we can definitely...
Francy, admire your positivity through it all. It's fantastic. Look forward to the event on the 28th of May. Barry Curtin's now joined in. He's going to play
Fantastic.
as well. So it will be
Thanks, Barry.
spectacular to see that. Stay with us. Plenty to come.